Look at every part of Lagos that has a well-constructed road. They will not make roads without creating drainage system. But what happens during the dry seasons? People dump nylons
Indiscriminate
and
dumping
all
of
that, and
refuse.
then it gets blocked. Even before the rains come, you hear Lagos state government announcing clear your drainage. There is something back then Delta state government used to do. They reuse every kind of style to communicate to the people that the rain is coming. No, the rain will carry you from Ajegule. You will find yourself in Ikorodu, or it will carry you and your bed in Aja, in Lekki to another end. So you see that you can say that the knowledge, we cannot stop talking about it, and we have to use simple language for those at the grassroots level to really understand.
Now, this part two of Just Africa, we're talking about climate change, and it talks about powering climate change solutions from the ground up. Powering climate solutions from the ground up. The meaning of this topic refers to the building and driving climate action, starting at the community level. It means recognizing that sustainable, long-standing climate solution in Africa must be anchored in local knowledge, grassroots innovation, community-driven adaptation strategies, and bottom-up economic models instead of relying solely on top-down policies or external interventions. This approach emphasizes empowering citizens, local businesses, and local institutions to lead climate action, while governments and global partners play supportive enabling roles. It centers on justice, inclusivity, and the lived experience of Africans in crafting climate resilient futures.
I love the fact that you said from the grassroots.
From the ground up, yes, community level.
Community level, the knowledge should be from the grassroots. You know, most times when people hear climate changing and others, everyone just think it has to be about the city. People don't understand that we have to
start thinking about earthquakes.
You understand earthquake, all those things. They will tell you, no, it does not concern us. For those of us that are in the grassroots, it's those people that have money. Those kind of languages, those are the kind of things we hear. So talking about from the ground, growing from the ground, it's something that is very important. Our climate, our environment, everything concerning growing as it is very important. And the knowledge of it is not for a certain class of people. It is for everybody. We all need to understand how it affects us. Or, okay, yes, how it affects us, how it affects the society. Building a society is not something, or having a healthy society is not something that is meant for some persons. Whether you're in urban area or you're in the rural area, living in a healthy society is very key. How do you not live in this healthy environment? Those are the things that one should have deep knowledge of. It is not all about eating protein and all the rest. The carbon that is coming out, the fossil fuel you are using, everything, it matters to one's health. And looking at the kind of environment, especially for those of us in Lagos, the kind of environment, the way we move every day, it is alarming. So the knowledge, that is what I picked from your intro anyways.
Okay. Okay. So, and it's good living in an environment where everyone, is paying attention to all these details. Now, one thing that we can all talk about when it comes to climate change and the impact it has on our environment, we see that much of attention has been given to this topic of conversation in the West and in the advanced world. But in the continent of Africa, we've not seen that either. Little wonder we are asking the question, how do we bring in the grassroots into it? And even the government itself, what role are they actually playing that can encourage the grassroots to show a receptive disposition?
Thank you. Just like I said in the intro, climate issues are not issues for class. They are not issues for a type of people, a group of people in the society. And because of the too much grammar used in talking about climate
Yeah.
issues, some people also think that it's an academic issue. So you hear all those big grammars, you hear the abbreviations,
COP30.
whatever is going
Yeah.
on, and all that. 32 is going on, and all that. And you hear all those kind of grammar. You don't what is COP? Is it police that we see Beverly Hills COP or something like that? It's actually something that affects everybody. And you're talking about from grassroots. That's actually where it starts from. If we don't change attitudes at the grassroots, there's no way we're going to change it at top level. Even though you have situations where someone owns a big company or something like that, and you say that company is causing emissions and things like that, you find out that it's the workers who are actually the grassroots people working in that organization that do those things. The owners of some of those companies are not there. But if these guys in the grassroots understand the implications of actions, you find that they are going to begin to suggest to the owners new ways of doing things. They are going to, within their own little means, cut things. For instance, when you talk about pollution, for instance, if someone is working in a community and is working in an industry, and that industry is doing something that is causing his children, his family to have issues, don't you think that person want to take action and raise issues? So that's the thing. It's a grassroots thing, just like you said. It's not a thing for the but because of the way it's being communicated
Yeah.
with big grammar, climate change is brought into issues that are not climate change. For instance, when flooding would start here again in Lagos, in Lekki, for instance, because it's close to the sea, someone will say it's because of climate change. But is that really because of climate change? So climate itself will be getting angry at us. Why are you bringing me to where I'm not involved? Focus on where I'm really involved. Okay. In Nigeria, for instance, most of our issues are man-made. God has blessed us so much. The way Nigeria is structured and designed is such that before you're going to have a major climate-related issue in this country, it's going to take a long while. The area where we have climate-related issues in Nigeria is the coastal areas, especially along the stretch of Ondo State to Delta State to Bayelsa State because of the rising sea level. The one in Lagos is still minimal compared to what happens in that Niger Delta area. You have towns that have been wiped off. Just stroll to Ondo State there, you'll see them. The one happening in Lagos, because of the way Lagos is, if you look at the shape of Nigeria, you'll see that it's not going to happen there that much. Number two, in Lagos, we have the Lagos Lagoon, which is perhaps one of the deepest lagoons in the world. A lot of people don't know that. We don't even celebrate that. Going across the deepest lagoon in the world. These are things we should talk about in Nigeria as we are talking about Dirty December. Let us know some of those things. So we have the lagoon also taking in some of that water. And so even though we used to have those floodings in the Babish and all that, but it's not much compared to what is happening in the core Niger Delta area that we don't even talk about. Your Lekki flooding, all of you in Lagos, is man-made. And I can give you examples why it's man-made when we come to that. But the way climate is being communicated should be done in such a way that the grassroots people, everybody understands it. So we know that it's something that we contribute to gradually.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, thank you for bringing us to that place where you felt or you thought that the language we used in communicating climate change to people at the grassroots level is what they cannot deal with. When they hear about it, they think, it's an esoteric concept. So they just, exonerate themselves from it. How can we make it relatable to these people at the grassroots, even someone who didn't go to school? How can we bring them to understanding this? What kind of language do you think we should use in communicating that? Bringing in the National Orientation Agency, or what else?
Okay. Now, when I talk about language, many times, which is the mistake, like the orientation agency you're talking about, a lot of government organizations are also making. When we talk about language, sometimes they think we're talking about, okay, let's change it pidgin English, let's
Okay.
change it to local languages. Those help. But the real language we're talking about, like for instance, you have what's called body language. There are languages of when you are able to associate something with something. That's the kind of language from my communications, background also that I'm talking about that we supposed to use. For instance, if you want to relate climate issues to someone in a community, you don't speak those grammar they taught us in school. I'm an environmental resources planner academically. We know the languages, we understand those things. We
Yeah.
don't use those languages. Rather, you look for local examples in that community. Look for something that person can associate with. So if I want to talk about flooding in Lekki, for instance, I'm not going to be talking about any big, we'll come and talk about use grammar like infrastructural design, housing, urban, blah, blah. No, I'll just go straight. You see that gutter that is there. What did you put inside? You that built that big mansion, did you dig drainage linking the next one before
Okay.
building your big mansion?
Okay.
Little things that people can relate with. That is the language we should be using. For instance, you built this giant house. There were trees there before you came there, and you cleared all the trees. And now you are saying that Lagos is hot. The hotness not deal with you yet. It will deal with you more. You cut the trees that are supposed to prevent the sun from coming and indirectly at you, and also encourage wind. Those are kind of two things. So when we talk about those things, pick examples. Person will say, okay, now last time when I went to a friend's house that had a lot of trees, compound,
Okay.
I spent 2 days there. I didn't feel kind of it. When I come back, that's
Also
my
plant trees.
intervention in talking and look for some places and plant trees. Simple things like that.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay. So we're coming back to you. But so I like some of the things he said, bringing it to the grassroots, relating it to them, that this is what you ought to do. And you just spoke briefly about the people in Lagos and how they built, huge and big houses in the commercial city of Lagos, big mansions, but without putting into consideration a proper drainage system that should be laid in those places. And without those drainage systems, it's as if your mansion becomes useless, because whenever the rainy season comes, the rainy season has a very, very funny way of exposing the bad roads and the less efficient drainage systems. And this in itself, we can begin to talk about how much people would lose in terms of money and resources during that time of the season.
And do you know that some of the owners of these mansions, estates, and the likes, do you know some of them don't actually have knowledge about this climate change we're talking about? Some of them just feel, let me just build, let's build for the money. Let's smile to the bank. Let's do this, let's do that.
The people who build those kind of structures, they equally employ the expertise of a surveyor, of an engineer,
Yes.
who will need to give some form of advice with regards to things that can prevent the consequences of the climate change.
Yes. I also understand that some architects, when they make designs, they design trees, parts of the land where you can plant trees. But what happens during buildings? We now say that interlocks are used in the compound. No trees are planted, nothing.
Okay.
So we rely on ACs. And when there is power failure, of course, maybe you have not grown, or you can't afford the solar system that everyone is going for right now. You are soaked in your sweat at night. Then talking about drainage system, this is where the grassroots knowledge is important. we will not stop talking. We will keep talking. You drink your soft drinks and you just dump them anyhow. The truth is, to a very large extent, the government has created drainage system, has made drug drainage system that water can flow through.
In some part of town.
Yes, most parts, not some, most. You look at every part of Lagos that has a well-constructed road. They will not make roads without creating drainage systems. But what happens during the dry seasons? People dump nylons and all that, and then it gets blocked. Even before the rains come, you hear Lagos state government and now say clear your drainage. There is something back then that the state government used to do. They will use every kind of style to communicate to the people that the rain is coming. The rain will carry you from Ajegule. You will find yourself in Ikorodu, or it will carry you and your bed in Aja, in Lekki to another end. So you see that you can say that the knowledge, we cannot stop talking about it, and we have to use simple language for those at the grassroots level to really understand.
Yes. Okay, welcome back, Mr. Aro Leonard. Thank you so much for joining us on the program once again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, what are some of the obstacles that young entrepreneurs or grassroots entrepreneurs face?
With regard to making use of things that could, let me say, you're talking about climate friendly enterprises and things like that, right?
Yes.
It's mainly, if you check what has been happening currently, a lot of the people who have done climate green, when we talk about this green economy and things like that, climate friendly things, if you check it, like what's happening in Lagos, you find out that it's mainly by individuals. It is not a government-led initiative. Yes, Lagos state government has something started a few not long ago. Sometimes they also had this waste recycling plant they built. But the real waste recycling and things like that is happening has been with private individuals. You see, there are a lot of young people in Lagos now into those eco-friendly businesses, and some of them, courtesy social media and what they do, are able to get grants from international organizations and things like that. But when you are looking for government-led initiatives in Nigeria, you don't have that. Even though we're talking about green economy, the only real investment we've seen from government is the plant solar panels and all that. But green economy goes far way beyond. And one of the first things the government has to do, is to get all the oil companies in Niger Delta to stop the gas flaring. Deadline has been set over 3 decades ago that everybody has pointing out. That is the main thing. And then when you talk of, for instance, when chemical plants in where Delta State was produced, so even though the plastic they were making then were not very people and all that, but we were excited things was beginning to happen, and then all that. Now that without the refinery in Lagos, they could start turning out some of all these things. You see, that we Lagos as one of the waste tons in the world, and yet Nigeria is, how will I call it, one of the highest poverty rates in the world.
So now let me ask this question. How can we have the collaboration of private organizations, including local government organization, to collaborate with your organization, like Cleverest Center, in scaling up climate change or climate innovations at the grassroots level?
the first thing that has to be done by any organization, both international organization, government, is to first of all strategically partner with the media. For instance, a program like this, your program, is one of the kind of programs that could help educate people. First of all, people need to be aware of the opportunities. For instance, because of the work done by the private recyclers in Lagos State set up the Lagos Waste Composite scheme, and they are funding that very well. But that's all they know. There's the part about climate sustainable agriculture. Food is a major issue. Nigeria doesn't really have problem, but then we have hunger problems. So if people know how to do sustainable agriculture within their houses, all those big houses or building, you could have some little, plants within, and that could feed a lot of people. Now, something we don't even talk about that is a climate change initiative. You guys know of the floating school in Makoko, right there on the lagoon.
Yeah. Yes.
A settlement in Makoko that someone is thinking of clearing and just, demolishing all that is a major climate initiative without people knowing. You don't know that settlements like that will prevent flooding around that ice and also reduce the pressure on the land. Why do you think Saudi Arabia is currently building a floating city? Why do you think Dubai was done and we came and we copied the Dubai experiment and built Eco-Atlantic? Now, as a result of building Eco-Atlantic, we've been able to solve the flooding problems in Victoria Island. But unfortunately, because of our poor planning, we only diverted the water to Lekki. It had already been built before Eco-Atlantic was built. You get it without thinking about how easy the water was charging. It's just so these climate changes. You have the solar system we are talking about now. More of these are using solar. Okay. Organizations, the government, and solar where people, workers, government, offices, and all that could purchase solar system that you're paying your mortgage for that could take 50 years. Even though you are even the minimum wage of 70,000 naira, you could be able to purchase solar panels, inverters, and batteries for house and reduce the pressure on the gas, the thermal, hydroelectric energy, and all that. So all these are initiatives, but to get that done, first of all, there needs to be that partnership with the media. The government partners with the media. You private organizations like my organization, Cleverest Center, for instance, we've been training a lot of media organizations, broadcasters, especially on environment reporting and things like that, to open up so people know opportunities that are there. So the organization first hook up with the government organization, hook up with the media, and the media would throw up the issue and the opportunities, and then we'll see where both the private and the government can join. The Elumelu Foundation, for instance, has something on economy and things like that a lot of young people don't know about, but a few young people have benefited from that. There are other international organizations that have been funding those doing recycling. We have the IIT or so, the Agri Institute somewhere in Niger State. There, that does a lot of climate sustainable agriculture training, and experiments, which needs to be passed on to people so people are able to know about these opportunities. So for me, calling on the government, each government, local government, if you really want to solve hunger, look at technology and modern ways of harnessing climate related issues and turning them to wealth and empower people to be able to get involved. Because government and all these things I mentioned, things done by anybody in your house. You have to collect waste before you start recycling. So it is you,
Okay.
it's not government that will have to collect waste for you. You know, little things like you're hungry, you need food. If it's a rent apartment front of house, plant something.
All right, thank
You
you
have
very
stuff.
much. Thank you, Mr. Haru. So I just want to ask, are there policies that the government is currently making or that they've made that would help the climate situation that we have right now? Or are there policies that need to change to help have a better friendly climate or friendly environment, a healthier environment in our today's society?
I can't start quoting policies now, but I can tell you that Nigeria has all these policies since. I was with the Federal Environmental Protection Agency's back as 1998 and a 10-year plan. Environmental issue was done and launched in 1999 as well, when 10 years end. So we've always had this is the implementation that is the issue. The issue around sustainable agriculture since it actually started at the one administration, and Obasanjo scaled it in the 70s. So we have the First Lady now initiative on home farming and all that. These are come out of existing policies. We have the climate research center in Abuja here, the Federal Ministry of Environment. So all these policies, where we are lacking is implementation. And what's going to slow down the implementation is that lack of awareness. So government organization really wanted these policies to we need to empower the media. It's the media that would tell the populace that look, this thing is existing. And when it's driven from the grassroots like that, when these things will be done. Because when you talk about climate like this, you can only stand on the organization that's the environment doing stuff. It is more difficult to get people to pay the grassroots.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Aaron Leonard. Aaron Leonard is an environmental and resources planning expert renowned for his work in sustainable development, community resilience, and ecological innovation. He is the founder of Cleverest Center, an organization dedicated to advancing environmental solutions through research, green enterprise, and community-focused climate initiatives. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful time with you on Just Africa today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. Hope to be here once again sometime.
Oh, looking forward to having you next time. That's like you said, the policies are there. Implementation is what we need to focus on.
I think the government needs to do more in implementing, even if you have to force it, as far as it's concerning the environment. If you have to push it down our throats to make sure we have a cleaner environment, we have a healthier environment, I wouldn't mind. Like I always make reference, there was a time during Fashola's administration, you can't throw things from the bus, from anywhere. You'll be picked up. As a result of that, what happened? People were cautious of what they were doing. They were mindful. They were putting waste when you are done with whatever you are eating.
When you're on the road, you can put it in your bag.
You get it.
And most of the time, the administration placed waste bins across the road.
Thank you. You understand? Then urinating in public spaces on the road was minimal because when you're caught, what happens? You'll be arrested. But these days, going on the road from Leventis down to Marina here, you see in broad daylight. We need to enforce, we need to implement those laws.
Okay. We need to implement those laws. And I'm sure you agree with us when we're talking about law implementation. This is where we have to draw the curtain on Just Africa this afternoon. Many thanks for watching. Please do well to follow us on all our social media platforms, Osuk News TV. I'm Oyem Priye Kromale. Good afternoon to you.